Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Last Call Kinda. I am your host, Gerard Morgan. As always, I'm joined with Greg Masturzo, Nick Madara, and iPhone 4. Tonight's episode is going to be a thrilling one for sure. We are going to be going over fan-submitted questions that you guys have been putting in for the past few weeks, so much so that we actually started to mute you guys because you guys are annoying. Followed up by a Squatober recap. Followed up by we're going to be going into a presidential election debate. Why would we do that during such a trying time? Well, we're going to pick who we think would actually do a great job at running this country. Caveat being, they can't be a real person. All fiction people. So we'll pick and choose the best presidents across movie, television, and whatever else that you enjoy. And that's going to be our show. Stick around, find out. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get into your user or listener questions.
Before we start, I just want to make a note that I would let Gerard serenade me to sleep. The sound, did you just start recording? This meeting has upgraded. What does that mean? Unlimited minutes. That's pretty pog. All right.
This is why it's called Last Call Kinda. Because we get through something and Nick just goes, bah, bah, wow, bah.
All right, Greg, you want to we'll go back and forth. You say one, I'll say one.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to start with the first one.
Oh wait, I think it should be noticed that only Greg and Drew know what these questions are. Me and Nick do not.
Correct.
I sent you guys show prep last week, and both of you guys just blew it off.
Did not listen.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think I've checked the group chat in literally weeks.
Yeah, so I'm not going to bother. Drew and I are on top.
Greg, I just wrote the first name down of the person who submitted it. So if anybody can help me fill it in.
I mean, they could be left anonymous too,
Yeah.
unless they specifically said.
We'll just do first name or whatever. I don't.
Chances are they know who they are. Drew, can you get off of the freeway?
All right, so
Greg,
I'm going to start it off with the first one we got. So we set up this poll that said, give us some topics to talk about next week in our pod, except this went out like a month ago. So it's about a month later now. We got a little sidetracked. It has this tradition with this podcast. And the first one comes from our good friend Danny, who, when it said topics, he said, your mom.
So on the topic of your mom, I'm a little upset that I made 2 your mom jokes about Nick's mom, and they got borderline ignored in the group chat.
Good.
I thought our group chat was getting soft. I did 2 your mom jokes to Nick, and it just Drew like a week later decided to like it. And I'm like, oh, I guess that missed. Okay.
It was a pity like.
Well, it was a pity like, and I was a little upset about it.
Gerard swung and missed on a 3-2 count.
Yeah, he's used to that.
Yeah. Hey.
on the topic of Nick's mom, she's
I feel like we
insane.
don't have to be.
So,
Thank you. Yeah, she
if
is.
we're talking about if your mom is directed at Nick's mom, just know she's the same.
Shouts out Maria. She's probably listening. I hope you're having a great day. I hope Grandpop's chilling and you haven't blown your brains out yet.
Shouts out, Mom.
Shouts out, Mom.
Shouts out moms everywhere.
Also, shouts out Mom, who apparently didn't visit last week, and Nick still has no excuse for not being at Jay's bachelor party, aside from the fact that.
Yeah, okay. All right.
True.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks. Yeah, my car got hit in a Wawa park.
All right.
Next question.
That was the first point. All right, you're up, Drew.
Can I do? I believe this is from Greg himself. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I will argue either side on this question. Whatever side you want me to, I will give you a vigorating debate.
Well, these questions give me indigestion. They really do.
As long as you know it's not a sandwich, it's all that matters.
No, except for the fact that it is 100% a sandwich.
It's not.
It is.
It's a sandwich.
Without a doubt in my mind, it is a sandwich. Greg, all right, listeners who are from the Philly area or who know what Jimmy John's are, is what does Jimmy John's serve?
Food.
Nope.
Sandwiches?
Thank you. They sell sandwiches.
Yes.
They themselves say that they sell gourmet sandwiches.
Let's not go that far.
The only difference is between a hot dog and a Jimmy John's sandwich is nothing.
Does Jimmy John serve
They're the
hot
same
dogs?
thing.
That's not true, because you can go and order and buy a hot dog, and it's just a hot dog.
Yeah, and you can go and buy a hot dog, and it's still a hot dog and a sandwich.
It's not. It's
Not a
just
sandwich. I don't think it's a sandwich.
So
I'm with Greg on
I have
this
no
one.
problem saying I have no problem asking for a hot dog sandwich. Like,
But
yes,
what part
I
of
would
it's
like
not a
hot dog
sandwich? What part of it's not a sandwich?
The part where it's just a hot dog.
It's literally a hot dog, just in a bun.
So a bologna sandwich isn't a sandwich?
No, it's a sandwich. It's a bologna sandwich.
Yeah.
When you order a hot dog,
Hot
you
dog
order a
sandwich.
hot dog.
Hot dog on a bun? If I say hot dog on a bun, is that a sandwich?
No, it orders a hot dog.
Yeah. You don't say, "Can I get a hot dog on a bun?" Can I get a hot dog on a bun, bro? Can I just get a? What,
What
they
if
just
I-
give you a
what if
fucking
you
hot
take-
dog? They're gonna
What if
hand
you
you
take
a hot dog?
and you put it between? What if you take a hot dog and you put it between two pieces of white bread? What is it now?
Like a poverty hot dog.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. I've been there, but it is unfortunate.
It's still a hot dog.
It's
It
a
is still
sandwich.
a hot dog.
Sandwich.
It's a sandwich.
No, it's
What's
a hot
the-
dog.
What's the difference between bologna and hot dog?
Probably a lot of fat content.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's all a whole bunch of mystery meat and salt.
And
That's it.
Is a
But-
taco a sandwich?
but when you want a bologna sandwich, you say you want a bologna sandwich.
Yeah, because you're an idiot.
Taco
but
is a sandwich.
if you say that you want a hot dog, it's still a sandwich.
Would
No,
you,
you-
would you would
hot
you
dog.
just ask someone for a bologna? Is that what you'd ask them, Gerard? Can I get one bologna?
I don't like bologna, so no, I wouldn't ask
Of
that.
course not.
Yeah,
Is a
bologna's-
taco? Is a
bologna's
taco
all-
a sandwich? I feel like it's a taco. I don't know.
No, a taco's not a sandwich.
But they're the same thing as a hot dog.
Taco's tortilla.
What? What about a hard shell?
It's a hard tortilla.
So it's not a sandwich.
No, I just
It's
said
literally shaped the same as a hot dog. With
It's different
everything
bread.
It's a
is.
sandwich.
that. One's a corn tortilla, one is bread.
Oh my.
Hey guys, is ketchup jam?
Yes. I
No,
think.
jam is chunkier.
What? That's disgusting.
Uh,
First of all, I've never had jam, but disgusting.
All right, truth be told, I just asked this question just because I knew Gerard was going to get into it, and I always love getting Gerard to do it on the hot dog sandwich.
It's because they are
debate.
sandwiches. I can
Nah.
argue both sides.
Jam?
I personally, it is a sandwich, but I could argue both sides.
And jam also has a definition, so you could definitely figure out if ketchup is a jam or not.
Yeah, I personally don't think it is. I just wanted to say that just to get a reaction. I like getting a rise out of people.
I hope the rest of these questions are so much better. They have
these
so much
questions.
more potential.
Our listeners.
All right,
suck
Greg,
at
take it away.
sending
Next
questions.
question.
All right, so the next one comes from Cassandra, who says we should talk about grad school in a pandemic.
Oh, I did that.
I think
It's tough.
only Nick.
It sucks. I mean, I think Gerard did it too.
There's
Oh,
the
fuck.
pandemic's still going on, and I'm also in school.
Well, yeah, but
It's
you're
literally everyone but Drew.
You
yeah,
don't
that's
count.
true. That's true.
Wait, Greg, Drew's the only one without a master's. What a fucking nerd. What a loser. Oh
Shouts
my
out to
I have
God.
two certifications that Nick doesn't have.
Oh,
I also have one of.
I don't, but I have a master's, so it's
It's-
all good.
grad school sucks in a pandemic. It sucks without a pandemic. It sucks more with a pandemic. Just the other. Hello?
I was gonna let you finish because
Oh, no, you weren't.
you were rambling. Go ahead.
Just starting my thought process, which is a lot to unravel in my brain. But just last week at Westchester, there was a whole horde of students outside City Hall, all campaigning for lower tuition rates during the pandemic. They're saying that Zoom is not an education, and I partially agree with them. 'Cause
I'd
it's
agree.
definitely tough. I feel like I kind of got gypped into the last semester or two of my grad school, even though the last semester wasn't even in the pandemic. But
I will say, when it comes to like I'm cutting you off because your story is going nowhere. My
Okay.
grad school experience, the last semester was internship. So I was working at the University of Scranton. I was in their intramural program. I was working in the rec center. We were doing things. Shit was shit was going great, right? And then all of a sudden, bam, Corona hits. Scranton closes. ESU closes. I don't have an internship. My internship coordinator was like, figure it out, bro. Like, you gotta get these credits, motherfucker. So I'm 4 weeks into a semester and I need a 40-hour a week internship. Luckily, all the sorts of stars aligned. My boss left. My co-boss left.
mhm.
And then they hired me and they're like, yeah, you could use your full-time job as part of your internship. So I just did my job.
They left because of Gerard.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they did or didn't, but I got there and 3 people left.
Yeah, it's definitely tough for all the seniors because I got shafted out of a lot my last semester because of Corona. Pretty much cost me a nice job and potentially me moving to Florida for my PhD. But like, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get through it. A lot of my friends are still finishing up, and they hate it, but you know, you just got to finish it up. I don't think maybe they'll give you some tuition back. I think Westchester gave like a reimbursement fee or some shit, but you just got to roll with the punches.
I will say
like $200.
It
Yeah,
wasn't
like
much.
$400. It was fucked.
I will say, if you are one of those people who are going through this pandemic in grad school and you complain about not being able to go to graduation, go fuck yourself. No one likes graduation.
I skipped mine actually from undergrad.
No one likes going to graduation. No one
Right,
likes
that's because you
sitting
hate
there.
everything. You hate everything.
No one.
Abby.
Your parents don't care about your
Oh
graduation.
my god.
No one cares. Just get the diploma and staple it to your wall. You'll be fine.
I think for undergrad it's a little different. Undergrad graduation's kind of hype. No one cares about
No,
graduation.
undergrad sucked too. It was 2.5 hours too long, and it was only 2.5 hours long.
So to go off those points, I started like my doctorate program in like the point of the pandemic where like it started to like kind of more things were opening up, but it was still all online up until this is the first week and out of the 7 weeks or out of the 10 weeks or 7 weeks in that I've been in person with something, and we have labs this week, next week, and the following week. So 3 weeks of labs, and that's it. But every class I've had this first semester, aside from one of them, which is more of a discussion class, is based on essentially like having to be in person and practice things because it's anatomy, which is hands-on. It's exam and intervention, which is essentially you're examining the patient in the beginning steps of the interview process and then putting the exercises they're going through like to use on them. And then kinesiology, which is straight up movement. And it's been like kind of hard doing all that through a Zoom lecture, but it's made me have to like adapt and like figure out different like study styles. But what I have enjoyed is I can straight up wake up like a half hour before my classes start and grab some coffee and then just sit at my desk for class, opposed to waking up, taking a subway or 2 subways, and then like finding where my building is. So I've enjoyed that aspect of it. But the lack of hands-on stuff has been kind of rough.
I will say, being able, when the pandemic was like really hitting stride, it was like March, April. Everyone was home working. There was nothing better than waking up 4.5 minutes before you were supposed to be in like a work meeting. You just put on a little bit nicer shirt, go through your hour work meeting, and then go put on pants and shower afterwards. Oh, that was
definitely some
such
perks.
a great time. Now
But
I got an hour drive to work.
Ew. The overall consensus is it's still tough.
Yeah, it sucks. But
Yeah,
hey, we'll get through it. Like we were saying.
You may not, but we already did.
Oh, was that okay?
I think it was me. We'll get there.
Everyone will get there. Greg might die, but
Greg is literally going to be a physical therapist. I would not let you physically therapy me ever. In any way.
I'd let you physical therapy me.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
Can you fix my shoulder? I can't put it over my head.
You are fucked.
Yeah, you have to be a little active. Like you'd have to be more active. Like work on that. That's the issue. I know. Like if I ever gave you something when I became a therapist, to, like actually do the work at home, you would never do it. I know you too well.
I asked Nick 5 times for a workout that I could do to fix my patella tendonitis or whatever the fuck it was.
I just told him to squat more, heavier.
Patella femoral syndrome. I was like, bro, fix my knee. And he's like, no, yeah, sure, bro. That'd be so easy. I got so many workouts.
Yeah, of course. Just squat heavy.
He never responded.
Shocking.
And his door was this far away from my hand. Like I could have touched his door from my room.
And he did many times.
And he still ignored me.
And he was playing Fortnite at the time.
Okay. Drew.
No, he was playing that other game that's terrible.
Overwatch.
Relax. Yeah, that one.
Oh,
with the wizards and ogres and shit.
Drew, take it away. This next question better be the end all be all.
Was Drew just sleeping?
Yeah, he probably was.
This one is from my wife, Haley.
Shouts out Haley.
Do men find plastic surgery
Yes.
or Botox attractive?
Yes.
Nick's views do not reflect that of the podcast.
And what Nick says is solely from Nick's mouth, and no one else's views have been influenced by this.
I'm
My
just
answer is
saying.
a firm no.
When
Yeah,
you
I'm with
see,
Gerard.
no, they're lying.
I'm a hard no. I'm a hard
Yeah,
no.
hard no.
No.
So just so the listeners are aware, that's 3-1 in regards to the hard no on Haley's question. Nick was the only one that said yes and explained how great it was.
Drew is a hard no because he's wifed. Greg is a hard no because he's an incel.
Absolutely not. I
And
have
Gerard
never
is a
liked that.
hard no. I'm not actually sure why. I can't peg him.
That's
It's a hard no. It's all there is to it. It's a hard
Why?
no. Next
Why?
question.
Why? A little bit of enhancement or Botox.
Nick, just
Botox,
because
maybe
you
not
got
so
it done
much.
doesn't mean other people have to get it done.
This conversation sucks. Next question.
This next one comes from my buddy Steve,
Hey, Steve. How are you?
who said Greg's sense of fashion, to which Drew responded with, "That's going to need an episode all on its own." And I can assure you, it does not, because my sense of fashion is non-existent. It is literally either jeans and like a t-shirt,
No,
or I'm with
it's
workout clothes.
it's cargo shorts and a t-shirt and a backwards
Cargo.
hat.
Cargos, a polo, and a backwards hat is the work look. That's the work style. Yeah, literally just.
I can't wait to see you in a suit.
Can we talk for a second about your brother's outfit that he was wearing?
Oh my gosh, your brother's sense of fashion is way worse than yours, Greg.
Did you see
Yeah.
the one last night?
Yeah, the tie-dye blue and yellow.
Yeah, he
bullshit.
looked like a tub of sherbet.
Yeah,
It needs
sure.
to be burned, that
Yeah.
outfit.
Yeah, you should try and burn that outfit. Is he wearing it still? It seems like he'd still be wearing it from
He
last
probably
night.
had his 3 chains and his fake Rolex on too. Next question.
Oh, we actually got a lot of
Let's
questions.
see.
What the fuck? We're popular.
This one is from Patty.
Oh, this is my aunt.
I was like, who the hell's Patty? Shouts out Patty.
We already
She
talked
asked-
about this.
How about talking about how older women 50 and up can continue to build muscle mass?
That's a good one.
Shouts out Patty. Something
Shouts out
that
Patty.
Patty.
Shouts out Patty.
That's a great question.
Patty is one of our most involved listeners. She messages
True.
the Instagram
She is the best.
pretty much after every post.
be more like Patty.
She is the best.
So shouts out Patty. Be more like Patty.
Did you just take a picture? Are you taking a picture of me?
I'm working on it. Yeah, I don't have a good angle. But let's see.
This might be a question
Nick,
for
take it away.
This might be like a question for a whole episode. Training for
Nick, we do not
for-
have that many listeners over the age
for-
of 50.
no, for like adolescents, for non like college aged, because that's kind of where our content lies. So like elderly adolescents, disabled. That'd be like an
Did you
interesting.
just say elderly adolescents? Did you just say old young people? Is that what I heard?
Yeah,
Did I
like
hear old
elderly,
young people with this-
comma adolescents,
No,
comma disabled people,
The
comma.
The main problem is that he said all of our content is within that elderly to adolescent age, range.
I said college. You guys are the
He
worst.
said the elderly adolescent age.
Elderly, comma adolescents. You know what? I'll handle this my own. I'll talk to my aunt on my own time, and she's gonna get jacked.
No, that's useless. She asked the podcast, not you.
That's
There's a
true.
reason she asked the podcast and not you specifically.
That's true. That's true.
So
All right.
Greg and Drew, take it away. Nick,
Yeah,
should
you guys
you didn't
take it
ask
away.
you.
Yeah, no one asked me.
She specifically didn't ask you, actually.
Okay, so we're answering the question.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no matter how old you are, you still have, I wouldn't say the same capacity to build muscle, but you still build it the same way anybody else does. So the important parts are to be in a calorie surplus. You want to overload your training, as in putting your muscles under a certain amount of stress that they need to adapt to it. And you need to get enough recovery after those workout sessions. And those are very basic principles that everybody needs to follow. Doesn't matter what age you are. and you can grow muscle even when you're 99 years old. You can still grow muscle, and I support that decision.
Wowie.
Because if you still want to be walking around at 99,
Mhm.
you should do some strength training.
So when
Agreed.
you say being caloric surplus, if I eat 16 pizzas a day, I'll be in
Mhm.
caloric surplus. Will I
Yeah, you'll be good to
build
go.
muscle?
Absolutely.
Just you though. That's just for you.
I mean,
Yeah, just you.
no, I mean, theoretically, yes. In a calorie surplus, yes, you will gain a certain amount of muscle. Not saying that's all you'll grow. You'll probably grow a lot more fat, but you're in a calorie surplus. You're providing your body with some amount of protein that it can use towards skeletal muscle. And as long as you are stimulating your body with lifts that, are pushing your muscles to the point where they know they need to adapt, then yes, you could grow muscle by eating an entire caloric surplus of pizza.
Mhm.
All right, I'm in on it.
Fun fact, if you actually eat 16 pizzas a day, you'd gain more muscle than if you ate nothing a day. Look at that. That's science right
That's
there.
true. That's
true.
Mhm.
To piggyback
it's
on
100% true.
Breaking news: the podcast says "Eat pizza to gain muscle."
Gerard,
That could be the title of our show: "Eat pizza to gain muscle."
there we go. But you got a show.
That'll-
You just saved me some trouble. To go off what Drew was saying, though, another thing that's important about strength training, especially as people get older, is you're continuing to increase your bone mineral density. So you're increasing the strength of your bones, which is overall better for your health. So that's always an important factor to stay healthier and to help you stay more active and mobile as you get older. So that's an important thing to remember. It's like when you're doing weight-bearing exercise and you're putting that stress on the bone, you're going to help them maintain its healthiness opposed to it going into reabsorption and kind of losing that strength and rigidity in the bones.
Nice.
Drew,
Yeah,
would you? Oh, no, you're gonna.
Drew kind of touched on the physiological side. Greg kind of touched on the anatomical side, but also another thing is like compliance, right? If you're having trouble getting into the gym or actually working out, that ends up being pretty much the biggest hindrance to gaining muscle. So find something that really motivates you, and make sure you're doing something that you enjoy. If you like prefer rowing or swimming, and that's going to get you out of bed and get you moving, that's probably better than like a rigid strength training program that doesn't really excite you as much.
But if the goal is to still build muscle, you want to make sure you're incorporating that strength program somewhere in there.
Absolutely.
Help maintain that. Drew, what are your thoughts on? Would you focus? Not that we're trying to go crazy and like splits. Would you focus more of a full body 3 days a week type thing, or would you try to do like some kind of different split?
No, honestly, I honestly don't think it. The only part of that I think matters is what Nick just said, is compliance. Some people might prefer full body workouts. Some people might prefer to split it up. Either way, as long as you're hitting the major muscle groups that you know are going to cause change and improve your quality of life, you can do either and get results.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Patty in particular.
Well said, Gerard.
Shouts out, Patty.
Shut
Shut
up,
up.
Patty.
Patty?
Shut up, Patty. Next question.
All right, I got one coming in from Mikey.
This will be our last question.
All right, this is Mikey. If you pull the wings off of a fly, is it called a walk or is it still called a fly?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the podcast.
Mikey, I appreciate the creativity there. That's something that you find in like our shower thoughts.
Mikey, I don't know who you are, but what the fuck, man?
That's tough. I'm not sure, because a fly isn't a fly because it can fly, right?
Nick, I'm going to cut you off there for 1 second. How about we do this? No. How about we do this? How about the listeners decide on that one? We'll throw that later.
Yeah.
What came first?
We'll throw that poll.
Comment. You can comment on what you think the answer is for
What
that.
came first, the name or the animal?
It's a bug. It's not an animal, but
He's right.
I mean,
I mean,
the animal
it's in the
definitely
animal
came
kingdom.
first, but
well,
Yeah.
no.
the animal also probably evolved into having wings before it had wings. So,
No, I don't. I think it was flying
That's
first, to
what
be
I think.
honest.
Okay.
Because
But yeah,
back
so
in
we're gonna leave that up to you guys to figure out. We'll wait for your response on that because I'm a little curious to hear what our listeners think.
It's not that that question wasn't good enough for us, but
It was so good that we
It's so
literally
good.
don't know how to answer it, and we're gonna call the audience.
next question.
I mean,
no.
our listeners just need to ask better questions.
I feel like there's a lot of those questions. Seriously, I would love to get back to Haley's questions, but I was viciously cut off by 3 incels.
Yo, shout
The
out.
only two good
Patty's
questions,
a great
Haley's
question.
and Patty's.
Haley's was a great question. I'd love to dive into that a lot more, but I feel like we would need a female on the podcast to weigh in.
Well, Cassandra had a good question.
I can
about
get Haley on the
grad
pod.
school. I did like
I feel like me and Haley would click so well on that question. Sorry, Greg.
No, I was saying I think Cassandra had a good question. That was a good one for us to talk about, just
Agree.
because we've all experienced it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Steve was just trying to, I think, poke fun of me. So I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you very much.
Thank you to all our listeners.
Keep
tuning
sending in the topics, people. We don't.
Yeah,
need
we
to
like
ask
the
you for it.
topics.
Yeah,
Send
gang.
in the topics. Maybe we'll hit 1 or 2 every pod.
Yeah, even send us some memes.
We love
Whatever
a
you
good
got.
meme.
Yes.
We have
Love
a
good meme.
a hearty following on Instagram.
Yeah.
So you send us a meme, we might just share it, and you might just become meme famous.
hmm I literally have a hard drive full of memes, so we'll send them back too.
But yeah, let it be known that if the meme sucks, we're probably going to tell you about it.
They'd
Well,
call you
we're
out.
still gonna post it, and we're gonna
Roast.
recognize the fact that it sucks, and we're gonna tag you.
Unless it's like a purposely bad one. Like if you genuinely think it's good and it's bad, we'll roast you. If it's like a purposely bad one, we're not just putting out bad memes for no reason, you know? Up your game. Be better. Do better. Greg, how's Squatober going? You getting swollen the legs, swollen the quads, looking like Saquon before he tore his ACL?
Well, it's currently November 6th, so Squatober is actually over. That's how it's going.
That's right. Yikes.
But no, it went well. I enjoyed it a lot. I hit 300 on my squat, which was fun. It was not 315 because I'm a weeb. And then it led to Merv actually reaching out and telling me I need to actually focus on like getting stronger and everything, which he's right. And I never put like enough emphasis on that, or actually like setting myself up to do it. Because like I say I'm going to do something and it's like it fizzles out. So that's what that led me to. And Merv told me I should mention that on the podcast because that's important. Because Merv is going to actually start coaching me starting this week.
Hell yeah.
So let's get this straight. You did a full month of Squatober. You squatted. It's every day, right? For the whole month?
It was 5 days a week, yeah, Monday through Friday.
And so you squatted 300, and then Merv looked you in the face and said, you need to stop being a bitch. You need to squat heavier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he pretty much took the words out of my mouth.
Merv gave me the numbers I need to hit where I should be at right now, and they were not where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you got to focus on that. I said, okay, cool. And then I was like, all right, let me start trying to program. And I was like, I ain't got time to program.
What number
Yeah.
should you be at right now?
Merv hit me with at least baseline for the 3 lifts. It should be, he said 405 deadlift, 365 squat, and 225 bench.
What's that
Yeah,
based
those are
on?
like
That's based on whatever Merv said it's based on.
Like, just
those are like pretty standard lifts for someone
Yeah.
who's got.
It's probably like a certain percentage of his body weight.
okay. So Merv has just looked at you and went, "You need to be deadlifting 405."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's Merv. I'm not going to say no.
Oh, of course.
So this is me being ignorant to the whole lifting thing, because I'm a fat piece of shit. So you work out like every week, all the time. Have you not been trying to you just lift weights and stuff, and you don't try and get stronger or bigger, or you just do it for funsies, or what?
No, the issue is I always run into either not making a priority, or usually not making a priority. And what happens is I'll focus on, from like June to like January, I'll focus on like the actual strength side of things, getting stronger. And then I'm like, oh, Broad Street runs in May. I got to start training for that. And then I kind of just let that fall by the wayside. Because I'm like, oh, I got to start doing that. And really, that's just like a waste of time. Because like I can go run the run tomorrow and I'll finish it. It might not be a good time, but like, I know I can finish it regardless. Whereas like this is something I have to actually like focus on doing. And I just always let it slip away. So it's literally just accountability. So Marv and I were kind of like talking about that, how we're going to set that up. And then I think it's better if he's going to be the one programming and coaching me, because that'll be the extra accountability I think I need.
So you need some accountability buddies.
Yes. Opposed to me doing my own programming.
buddies.
Listeners, you guys are all officially being recruited as Greg's accountability buddies. if you think, even if the thought comes in your mind that Greg didn't get swole today, make sure you DM him, comment on all of his posts, telling him that he looks small and he looks weak. Make sure he knows to get to the gym and lift. Merv, we appreciate you. You're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, so shout out Merv for that. Merv also told me to mention it on the podcast, like I said, so that way we can bring this up and everyone can hold me accountable that listens, and this little group we have here can hold me accountable. Merv's ultimate goal is for me to, I think, and my ultimate goal will be to hopefully compete in the next 6 months in a meet.
Shout out Thick Daddy Merv.
Shout
In
out.
powerlifting?
Yeah.
Thick Daddy.
Fuck yeah. I'll do your program for powerlifting. We'll talk about that when it comes up.
Didn't Merv just say he's doing the
Yeah,
power
it sounds like Merv is
programming?
doing the
That's
program.
okay. He can do the pre-programming. I'll do the actual 6 weeks up to the meet.
I don't
Nick,
think
I'll
you
do-
should
I'll
be
do the
doing
big
that.
I'm
stuff.
pretty sure Merv is 3 times as big as you have ever even thought about being.
I mean, probably, but body weight wise and muscle to muscle, I'd probably outlift him.
Doubt. Press X for doubt.
I mean,
Press
I
X for
can't wait for
doubt.
Merv to listen to
I
this
think
tomorrow
I
and
think
text me.
I
about
think this is definitely an Instagram poll.
Press X for
it's
doubt.
not really a poll, right? I mean,
This is an Instagram poll.
he can out squat me, but I can out deadlift him and out bench him. When I was 160 pounds, I pulled 460 for a double. That would
Where's-
mean Merv would have to pull
where's the
over
video?
700.
Where's the video?
I have a video of me pulling 450 for a single, but 460 for a double wasn't recorded.
I got a video of me pressing F in the chat right now.
Nick.
I mean, there's some things that you guys want to think is right, and it's
I just
not.
want Merv to dunk on you.
I
and
mean, he
just-
can
just
dunk on me in
body you.
squats, but I've got some bad news for you guys, man.
I think if you did an aggregate score of like all 3 lifts, I think Merv would outlift you by about 4,000 pounds.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think if we
And-
compared Wilkes right now,
And he would do a headstand and a split right after.
Yeah.
probably, yeah, and he'd probably
And
do a
that would
backflip too,
Yeah.
for sure.
I know. I will say. I think we do have to give Nick credit though. Nick-
I've got some bad news for you. There's no one here that lifts more than me, Wilkes-wise, besides like 2 people from Temple.
I don't know what Wilkes
Like
means.
in our little circle.
I think Connor lifts more than
Powerlifting
you.
term for your bench, squat, and deadlift compared to your body weight.
I think Connor lifts more than you.
It's like a participation award for small people at powerlifting.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Basically, the person with the best Wilkes wins. So if you're actually good at powerlifting and you have a good Wilkes, you're probably one of the smaller guys.
Gerard, this is like the featherweights in UFC saying they're the greatest fighter in the world
Right.
when they can't beat the heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much.
So Nick's tiny boy.
Hmm. But I beat other people who, if they were my size or I was their size,
This
They
is
would
like
still
that.
lose.
This is like that meme that's going around the internet. It's like, no fair. You changed the result by counting.
no, but no.
Yes,
No.
exactly.
Kind of. All right.
But look, I will give Nick his credit. I remember when Nick went to Temple. Nick was very strong. I haven't
Right.
seen Nick in a while, so I can't. compare.
Not saying that Nick's not strong. We know Nick is a strong boy. He
All I'm saying is
lifts
Nick got
things up.
significantly weaker when he stopped wearing that hat.
Yeah, when he stopped wearing the Vulcan beanie with the little tiny brim on it, you know
Yeah.
the one. He got significantly weaker.
Yep. I would
Probably.
also like to extend an invite to everyone that wants to come. Nick, you're invited, but you're probably gonna hit a car in a Wawa parking lot that day.
Probably. No, I'll be there. If it's a powerlifting meet, I'll be there. If you actually sign up for one, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah. So that's me putting it out there. Merv told me to put it out there.
We'll see.
Hold me accountable.
All right. Was kind of Squatober, and then it went into a soapbox of Nick saying he's stronger than everyone. Let's get into our President's Day matchup. So we didn't plan on doing it as a draft style, right? We planned on kind of discussing.
I think it's more of a. I think it's just kind of like a fantasy draft that we did. We'll go one by one who our president and vice president picks are.
Oh fuck! It did not do vice president.
Yeah,
We'll
you have
figure
to
it out.
have. Yep, running mate. I
We'll
guess
figure
that's
it.
what you say.
I got it. Just
And then
I have my presidents are tight. My presidents are fucking tight. And if any of you
Multiple
guys,
presidents?
Yo,
only one, dude.
Yeah, it's only one president.
oh my god, fine.
We're doing one, and then the people are picking
Yeah, the people are gonna
winning the
pick.
president.
The people are stooges. Now I got to pick something that's
Wow.
that's recency biased.
It doesn't have
That
to be a recency bias. It just has to be a good pick.
no, because the people who are listening are gonna be like, "Oh, that was a movie that I saw last week. Vote for them." Even
Yeah,
though
I'm gonna
like
pick John Wick again.
Exactly.
That's true. We do have some stooges in the audience.
all right, Greg, you got the flow. You got the longest hair here. That's how we pick who decides who goes first.
Why is it?
It's true.
I feel like it's every week me because
He didn't even
no
say
one's
you go
prepared.
first. He just said you pick who goes first.
Crap.
I
I
always
think
go
Nick-
first.
No, you did go first the first poll, and then you did revoked your
All right,
first.
well, this is
first
the
round draft
easiest.
pick.
This is the easiest pick ever because it's probably going to happen one day. The president is going to be The Rock because first of all, he would just be a phenomenal president, and he's a great-looking dude, and everyone
What?
loves him.
What
Are we
movie
counting The
was
Rock?
What movie was The Rock in that he was the president?
Why the fuck would we need to pick a movie where someone was the president? It's just anybody.
Wait. Technically, The Rock is his fictional wrestler name, so I
Oh
guess
my
The
God.
Rock could fall under it.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's true.
There you go. Get fucked, Gerard.
All right, fine.
And
Vice
my
pres-
vice president is going to be Machine Gun Kelly. He's just come absolutely
doesn't
out
count.
of.
It's not
That's
a
real
fictional
guy. That's a
character.
real guy.
Why? Why would they be fictional characters?
That was the point.
My God, I pick Bugs fucking Bunny. I don't know. I feel like that'd be a pretty good team.
Okay,
Also,
The Rock
I hate
and-
you guys.
Fine. We're letting Nick pick The Rock and Machine Gun Kelly. Explain yourself.
I already gave you my 411 on The Rock. He's a machine. Every movie he's in, he's a beast. He's a great speaker. He's basically an internet Chad without the internet. So he's just a Chad. And MGK has literally come out of left field with some fantastic alternative pop punk songs in the last 2 years, and he's also got shit on by Eminem back in 2018, and it didn't even impact his career a little bit. That man can bounce back from anything.
He was
I'd
also
want
in a
him
movie.
in charge.
He was in a movie.
I believe it. And he's dating Megan Fox. I mean, come on.
You haven't seen The Dirt, Nick?
The Dirt?
Yeah,
Why would I watch a movie voluntarily called The Dirt?
because one of the main characters is Machine Gun Kelly.
Well, no, I haven't, but maybe now I will.
So, your choice to run this country is Machine Gun Kelly?
No, The Rock. His running mate is Machine Gun Kelly.
Right.
Everyone
that
knows
too.
the VP does fucking nothing.
Drew, let's go. Who's your president and running mate?
Okay, president. My two guys. I wanted to pick two guys who just straight up aren't assholes, which I think is a change.
Okay, so The
from
Rock and Machine
the
Gun.
choices of presidents we've had recently.
Mm-hmm.
So, my president, I'm going with Hank Hill.
Who watches King of the Hill anymore?
I don't even know what that is. I'll be honest with you.
I will also be honest. I've never like sat down and said like, yes, I'm going to watch a full episode of King of the Hill.
I don't think anyone has.
I don't think anyone has. But Hank Hill, he's a good man with good opinions, and I think he could run a country pretty well.
Is he like the guy the Simpsons dad? I feel like he's just like a chill dude. Like what does
Yeah.
he do?
Well, he is a chill
Simpson
dude.
Dad. Homer is like one of the
He
most
sells
unchill
propane and
people.
propane accessories. Dude. That's what he does.
Okay.
But he's like the go-to guy in the neighborhood. Like somebody has a problem, it's Hank figuring it out.
I also like
Okay.
that he's always got a beer in his hand. And for the
And
record,
that's yes.
I could go for a president that always has a beer in it. Beer.
It's
in his
very
hand.
American.
And his main area of figuring places out is I think it's his front yard with his best friends, just sipping on beers. And that's where the show generally starts, where somebody comes up with some crazy idea that Hank needs to figure out.
I wouldn't even be able to tell you if you're right or wrong because no one has watched that show since 1984.
It's true.
Never even heard that show. I just thought it was a
has
game.
reruns of it on at 2 a.m. right after the George Lopez show.
George
If anyone should be
Lopez.
president, it should be George Lopez because we've all had nightmares waking up at 3 a.m. to his theme song, his giant fucking head on our TV screen.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Low. Rider. Rides a little low. All right.
I think we have Gerard's pick.
Who's your running mate, Drew?
My running mate is going to go to my hero, who is the epitome of a good American, Captain America, Steve Rogers. And I'm going with the movie Steve Rogers, not the comic Steve Rogers, because the comic Steve Rogers is actually kind of an asshole.
So,
That's a good pick.
Isn't Steve Rogers the name of the alien in American Dad?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes, and that's purposeful.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're not going for the alien. You're going for...
Well, I
The
said
Captain
Captain America, Steve Rogers.
Yeah, it's fine.
Potato.
You don't think Captain America would be a better president?
Well,
Then
Captain
Hank?
America doesn't want to be president. He was actually elected president in the comics. And
Right, but you just said the movies.
I know, but I'm saying I think he'd still have the same mindset where he doesn't want to be the leader of America. He just wants to represent it in a good light.
Seems like you would have done it if you picked him, because that's how this thing goes. But, I mean, whatever. Fine. I mean, you're picking Hank. It's fine. I just think you should have flipped the roles, told Captain America, hey, listen, suck it up, Buttercup. Get in there. Go team.
No one tells Captain America what to do.
Except that chick with the red hair in the movies who's
Yeah.
Scarlet. Yeah.
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Yeah, she could tell me whatever she wants me to do anytime. Any day.
We know.
Oh, I'll
we
do
know.
it.
So, going from Drew's choice of the alien, Steve Rogers, I'm choosing as my president the man who defeated all the aliens, and that is Thomas Whitmore, President Thomas Whitmore from Independence Day, the man who gave the incredible speech, "We will not go silently into the good night." What? Why are you giving me that face?
I thought you were talking about the John Travolta movie,
No,
The Aliens.
no, Thomas Whitmore from Independence Day with Will Smith.
Oh,
We will
what's
not
that?
go silently into this good night.
Greg knows 2 movies, and that was one of them. He's like, "Oh God, it's my time to speak."
Bill Pullman playing President Thomas Whitmore as my president. He flies a goddamn F-16 fighter jet against aliens using fancy ass fucking shields and shit. And without a doubt, he's clearly the best president any of you guys have chosen. And not only that, but he's also the best president in any movie that there is a president.
What about climate change?
He's
Welcome to Earth.
He doesn't give a fuck about climate change if he's flying F-160s and shit.
I mean, he gives,
F-160.
if it wasn't for all the alien
He's flying the
spaceships,
Ford F-160 around.
the aliens are
Ford
poking holes.
F-150.
The aliens are poking holes in the ozone layer, and he's had enough of it. So he's kicking their ass, and then he's going to use their ship to plug up the holes.
He's just gonna
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome
stick
to
it right
Earth.
in the hole
Punch.
with the ship. Okay. Yep.
Punch.
For my vice president, we're going, he's getting a demotion. That's the first thing. He's very presidential. He is a president. He is best known for his time spent on an airplane. And I'm talking about James Marshall, President James Marshall from Air Force One, otherwise known as Harrison Ford. Going through, killed probably, 64 Russian GIs, just snapped their neck, and then at the end of the movie, he kicks the guy off the plane and goes, "Get off my plane," and throws him off the plane. One, I need a VP who can kick some ass. And clearly, he killed all those Russian fucks. And then he just jumped out of the plane, got zipped up to another plane that all of a sudden became Air Force One, because that's how Air Force One works. So that's why I'm picking James Marshall. He's getting demoted from President James Marshall to Vice President James Marshall to the President Thomas Whitmore. Those are my 2 picks. Those are the reasons why I am going to have the best country that's ever been run, ever.
Wrong, but
It's going to be huge.
It's all the same country. We're just voting on the president.
That's what I said. Greg.
speaking of the president, Greg, I feel like your pick is going to be atrocious, but let's hear it.
So, as you guys know, I'm not a movie guy, right? I
We
was
know.
going to go video games. But I was
I
like,
dig it.
You're going to go
I
Metal
was
Gear
going-
Solid.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be that. It was really Metal Gear Solid. It was gonna be-
Lara
You know
Croft
what?
or something.
let me do this instead. What is one thing everyone can agree on about me?
Yeah. Okay.
You
hair
hate
best.
people.
Really
I
hate people.
See, yep, that's it. And what better people to run the country than
People you hate.
Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader?
So wait.
Do it.
Wait.
Do it.
Wait a second. Time out.
Do it.
I feel.
Do it.
I feel.
Well,
I ju-
Emperor Palpatine does love democracy. Palpatine is a genius.
Technically, actually, I probably won't say that. Never mind. I feel like it's an okay pick, to be honest. with
And you never let me finish.
I think it's a pretty good pick.
That's
so
because
far.
you never let girls finish anyway.
All right, Greg. Continue with your pick on why you think Lord Vader is the best pick to run this country.
That is
Oh, no.
so. That is so not Star Wars. Like
Palpatine is going to run the country. Vader.
Lord Vader. Are you kidding me?
Star Wars is not the best movies. Continue.
That's a hot take.
I mean,
And you're
is
wrong.
it? Is it?
It's definitely a part of the big three between Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and Indiana Jones.
What? I don't think any of those are in that
None of those
besides
are
Lord
in
of the
the
Rings.
None of those are actually.
Lord of the
Indiana
Rings is
Jones is
in there,
definitely in there.
Indiana Jones
Yes,
is
those are definitely the big
literally
three.
for middle-aged men who have divorced wives. and
I
hate
don't.
themselves.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I was
Lord of the
actually
Rings
I
is
was
in
actually
there.
very close from picking one
Gandalf.
of Harrison Ford's characters
Jesus.
and one of Brendan Fraser's characters. So there's that.
Who? You're just gonna leave it at that? Who?
No, it's fine because I want to talk about my actual picks, not who would have been.
All right.
Yeah,
we'll
so-
talk about your picks and then go into the honorable mention.
Yeah, Greg, give us the give us
so
the
I mean,
sniff.
obviously Vader built the Death Star, so no brainer. Palpatine would just say, "Do it" the entire time. Do it. Whatever
Do it.
whatever they decide on, he'd like, "Do it. We're gonna
Do it.
pass this. Do it." So everything we get passed in theory, whether good or bad, I don't really care. So my honorable mention, since Gerard was so curious, it would have been Indiana Jones.
Take that.
Because why
I support
not?
that.
Indiana Jones. And then Rick O'Connell from The Mummy.
Also a good pick.
never
Basically
seen that
Indiana
movie.
Jones, but
So just to be clear, you do realize that the entire plot to Indiana Jones, he doesn't need he's irrelevant, right?
No, it's called Indiana Jones.
Right, but everything that happened in that movie would have still happened if he wasn't in the movie.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
If he didn't lift the treasure, the boulder would have never came out.
Right, but the Nazis were already looking for it, so they would have pulled that. The boulder would have came out. They would have eventually found it, and everything would have happened the exact same way it did.
Yeah, but the guy that found it would have never been able to live the tale of hey, I found this and I survived the boulder, because he would have died.
But then the next person would have found it.
it would put the treasure back.
Yeah, so no.
Everything would have happened the exact same way.
The tank wouldn't have flown off the side of the cliff.
You guys really need to watch movies from this century.
And then we can't forget the third one where his father gets involved.
Is
And
that
he-
from this
And
century?
he takes down the fighter plane that's trying to take him out because he uses his umbrella to swoosh the pigeons away and fly up into the plane and crash the plane. It's all very realistic.
It's all very auxiliary to the actual plot, though. So that all happened fine, but the central plot line would have happened whether he was there or not.
He also has a whip. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's true.
and a
It
gun.
does have
And
a
a
pretty
gun.
cool whip.
And then
A hat.
a hat, Rick O'Connell, then, you just,
Well, Rick O'Connell is basically Indiana Jones. Just like the Mummy's version of him.
right. Less whip,
Less whip, more gun.
more gun. And then don't forget his buddy. I forget the guy's name, but the one guy with the curved sword that comes in to help him in the first one. And then he's one of the main characters in it with the second one.
It's been a while since I've seen these movies, to be
They,
honest.
they fight the Anubis army. I forget what it was.
I'll
but
be
he's
honest
also
with you.
What were they called?
I think Gru from Despicable Me would be a great Secretary of State.
Not a bad choice.
I know.
Not a bad choice.
I was thinking of more
about-
animated movies because Greg had viciously bored me, and I also thought about maybe the old guy from Up.
The old guy from Up would be a good, like Speaker of the House.
Yeah, for sure.
And
100%.
then I'm thinking we switch Gru from the Secretary of State to the Secretary of Defense because he builds a bunch of things and he's a super genius.
I like that.
So just because I had 3 picks and I want to say my third pick, Aaron Eckhart, Two-Face from Batman. You know who I'm talking about? Two-Face?
The Mask
Nope, Two-Face.
with Jim Carrey.
No.
Oh.
No, he might. I don't know. He might be in that too. Aaron Eckhart. He plays Ben Asher, President Ben Asher from Olympus Has Fallen or London Has Fallen, or
I've seen that.
right. So all those movies, that president.
Those really shitty movies.
All right. Gerard Butler. Hello.
Gerard Butler's good though. It's not a good movie.
Name check.
Gerard Butler plays as a murderous Philadelphian in what's it?
Oh,
Enemy of the
Thrilling.
State.
Haven't seen it.
Was it
Probably will check it out.
Oh, it's really good.
So I'm picking him because he went through like 4 attempts to overthrow democracy, and damn it, he survived. Granted, Gerard Butler totally saved the whole thing, but he survived. He was president, and he lived to tell about it. So he was my my third pick, but
Trump or Biden definitely would not survive that situation.
no, they're way too old, too old.
They could not move.
They'd pull a hammy getting out of their chair.
Drew,
So
were
would you, to be fair.
Drew, a law-abiding
To be
citizen.
fair.
Law-abiding citizens are phenomenal. Probably one of the best movies.
Oh yeah,
I've
law
ever seen in my
abiding.
life.
What did I
Yeah.
say? Enemy of the State.
I
You
think
said
I
it
think
was-
you
I was like,
meant
that's. I don't think that's it.
law-abiding. Yeah, I knew what you meant.
I've seen that
Weirdly
movie.
enough.
What is Enemy of the State then? I can't remember. What is
That's
that?
with John Voight. I don't remember what the plot is though. But you said Gerard Butler, and I was like Philadelphia. I was like, wait, no, that's not Enemy of the State.
All right, so just to go through our list of presidents, I have President James Marshall, aka Harrison Ford from the movie Air Force One, as my vice president. Then I have President Thomas Whitmore as my actual president, aka Bill Pullman from Independence Day with Will Smith, and 2 incredible movie presidents who would be excellent real-time, real-life presidents. Greg, you had Darth Vader as your vice president, and someone else. I don't know. Palpatine. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
Right.
Palpatine was the vice president though, because he's the yes man.
No, Palpatine's the president.
Oh, you're fucked.
Okay, so Palpatine is the president. Darth Vader is the vice president.
Yeah,
Nick.
and I just want to watch the world burn at this point.
I completely forgot who Nick picked. He bored me to death.
I'm surprised Greg didn't pick Thanos.
That's toxic. I picked The Rock and
Drew,
MGK.
I was very close to Thanos.
Thanos literally
Right, very
wants to
close.
get rid of half the people in the world. Like that's right.
Very
up
close
Greg's
to
alley.
Thanos.
We just completely talked over Nick. Nick picked The Rock and who?
MGK.
MGK. Such a useless pick.
Don't talk about my boy like that, the blonde Don.
Let
Our
the people
listeners hate you.
decide.
Our listeners hate you. And Drew, you picked Bill Hill. No, Frank Hill.
Hank.
No, Hank Hill. There we are. Hank Hill and who's your
Steve
VP?
Rogers.
Steve Rogers, Captain America.
Here's what it comes down to. Our fans don't know anybody that you guys picked. Let's be real here, because nobody fucking knows any, except for maybe one of Drew's picks.
No one. You're gonna tell me no one knows who Darth Vader is?
You're gonna
Why
tell
would
me
they
no one
pick
knows
like no one's
the
gonna
movie
pick that.
Independence Day.
Are
The
you
movie
serious?
Independence Day has one of the
Nick,
most
do you
famous.
really think
quotes
people
of all time.
know Machine Gun Kelly more than anybody else said in the pod?
No, but they know The Rock, and that's all that matters. You guys underestimate the power of The Rock.
I'll say this: I think The Rock would be a terrible president. He's just going to be bombed off of Teremana tequila, and he's just going. to
Yo,
Wow.
that stuff is good. That stuff is good. I bought that for my wedding.
Yeah, he's just going to be hammered off of Teremana tequila, and he's just going to be drunk the whole time.
I mean, what's wrong with a good old drunk president?
I'm just saying.
Everybody's happy.
Well, you're sad drunk when you're drunk.
I'm never sad. I'm drinking wine. I'm living my dream.
I'm a drunk that gets too drunk.
Me too.
All right, so we'll let the listeners decide. I
All
think
right.
we all had some good picks. I'd love to dive into maybe the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, Department of Education, you know.
I don't
We
know
got
what
some
those
good
do,
picks.
so I'll pass.
Yeah, I also don't know what those do. I'm not even going to pretend I know about government.
My
So,
God.
listeners,
We could pick that stuff after the people decide who are.
Yeah, the cabinet. The cabinet gets to. Or the president gets to pick his cabinet. So, listeners, you have to help us pick the new president of the United States, and we're going to appreciate you guys voting. This has been Last Call, kind of. I think we're wrapping up. Are we not wrapping up? I think
we're wrapping up.
We hit everything on the playlist.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a very easy win. We're gonna sweep Pennsylvania. Patty in New Jersey is going to hit me with the rock. This is going to be literally the easiest win of my life.
Yeah, but I have Texas, so.
Yeah, Texas is. Yeah, that's true.
I have our new listeners from Greece.
Greg, you don't have anyone.
Shout out listeners from Greece.
That's true. Shout out Greece.
There's another country in Europe I think that's listening to.
Scandinavia. No, Sweden.
Yeah, no.
If I will make one more shout out.
How many electoral votes are in Scandinavia?
One.
Probably one.
That's the thing. We're doing popular vote. We're doing popular vote.
Okay.
Like 3 countries combined. Isn't that like?
Greg, this isn't history class in 4th grade. This has been Last Call, kind of. I'm your host, Gerard Morgan. Take it easy.
Thank you all for listening. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review. Send us in some more questions. Ideally, they're better because let's be real, the questions y'all sent weren't the greatest. But we appreciate them anyway, just the same. I'm Gerard.
Next week. We're going to have a special guest next week.
Luckily, we should be able to handle that next week. And that is Last Call, kind of. I'm your host. Everyone else is not the host. Have a great day. Subscribe, rate, review. 5-star. If you liked it. If you didn't like it, pretend you never listened to it. See ya.